My friend, have you ever walked a road not knowing where it would lead, yet deep inside something whispered, keep going? Have you ever sat alone in the stillness of the night, wrestling with doubt, yet something inside you burned with a holy conviction that you are not lost? That, my dear listener, is not your imagination. That is not coincidence. That is not some fleeting emotion. That is God speaking directly into your spirit. And when God speaks, it shakes the very ground beneath your feet. When God speaks, it confirms, it strengthens, it establishes. I tell you, there are moments in life where the voices of men will fail you, but the voice of God will thunder through the silence of your Suland if you listen closely. You will hear the signs that you are on the path He set before you. This message today is for those who are tired of walking by sight. This message is for those who have felt the sting of rejection, the burden of confusion, the weight of waiting. And yet, despite all that, you refuse to turn back. You refuse to settle. You refuse to give up because something unexplainable continues to pull you forward. That is the divine hand of God guiding you, confirming you, proving that you are indeed walking in the direction He ordained for your life. Now, let me be clear. When you're walking in the will of God, the road will not always be smooth. There will be thorns. There will be storms. There will be dark valleys. But don't be fooled by the trouble. Don't misread the warfare. Sometimes, the greatest sign that you are on the right path is not peace, but pressure. Not applause, but adversity. The world may try to convince you that struggle means you're off course, but that's a lie from the enemy. In fact, sometimes your struggle is the very proof that you are exactly where God wants you to be. Let me speak this into your soul. If God has assigned the road, He has already secured the outcome. Even if you can't see the destination, even if the steps feel uncertain, your obedience is the evidence that you are aligned with His will. You don't need everyone to agree with your journey. You don't need every door to be open. You just need one thing confirmation from Godan. He will give it to you. Not always in loud declarations, but in signs, moments, and spiritual echoes that stir your spirit and anchor your faith. One of the signs that you are on the right path is divine resistance. Yes, I said divine resistance. Sometimes God will close doors not to punish you, but to protect you. God will block opportunities not because you're wrong, but because He wants to reroute you into something greater. Don't curse the closed doors. Don't despise the delay. That is God saving you from what your eyes can't yet see. It's a sign. It's a whisper from the heavens saying, keep going. You're on the right path, but not that route. That's not confusion. That's correction. And correction is a form of divine confirmation. And then there are those moments when the things around you fall apart, but your spirit is at peace. Do you know what I'm talking about? Your finances are strained, relationships are breaking, plans are crumbling, but somehow, you have peace that makes no sense. That is not natural. That is not logical. That is God. God gives peace not when everything is perfect, but when everything is according to His purpose. Peace in the middle of chaos is one of the most powerful signs that God is walking with you. It's His way of saying, fear not, for I am with you. Another undeniable sign is unexpected provision. You see, when you're walking in the path of God, you may not always have abundance, but you will always have enough. It will come from strange places. It will come through people you didn't expect. It will come right when you're about to give up. Manna from heaven, water from the rock, ravens in the wilderness. God has a way of feeding your soul and sustaining your life when you are aligned with His will. You may not see the next step, but suddenly a way opens. Suddenly a need is met. That is not chance. That is not luck. That is God making sure you lack nothing on the road. He called you to walk. And let's talk about confirmation through conviction. When God is leading you, there will be moments when everyone else claps, but your spirit is uneasy. Or moments when no one else sees the value, but you feel an unshakable pull toward it. That's not emotion. That's not pressure. That is God placing a divine burden in your spirit. You feel heavy when you go the wrong way and light when you move toward His plan. That's conviction. That's a spiritual compass that only the obedient heart can understand. When your conviction aligns with your direction, you are not just moving, you are being moved by God. Now hear this, child of God. People will not always understand your path because it was never assigned to them. Stop waiting for validation from people who didn't hear what God told you in the secret place. Stop doubting your steps just because they don't match someone else's expectations. If you are being obedient, you are successful. If you are walking in purpose, you are powerful. Obedience is the evidence. Purpose is the proof. And peace is the promise. Another mighty sign is the attack of the enemy. Oh yes, when you're on the right path, the enemy will not stay silent. He will stir up lies. He will send distractions. He will try to wear you down with fear, fatigue, and false guilt. But if the enemy is fighting you, it's because he's threatened by what you're carrying. The enemy doesn't chase the lukewarm. He doesn't harass the distracted. He targets the chosen. He targets those who are aligned with God's plan. The more intense the warfare, the more certain you can be that you're walking in the fire of divine assignment. Don't shrink back. Don't curse the battle. Praise through it. Press through it. That battle is your confirmation. And let's not forget about the fruit. God will always back His path with fruit, not always immediately, but inevitably. You'll start to see results, not just in what you accomplish, but in who you become. The path of God doesn't just change your location, it transforms your character. You become more patient, more focused, more resilient, more surrendered. That internal transformation is one of the strongest signs that you are walking in His will. It's not always about external success, it's about spiritual growth. God is not just taking you to a destination, He's building you into the person who can handle the blessing when you arrive. There will be divine alignment, people, places, and opportunities will begin to fall into place. Not forced, not manipulated, but divinely orchestrated. You will meet people who carry the next piece to your puzzle. You'll be led to places you didn't plan to go, but somehow everything fits. That is the orchestration of God. That is the fingerprint of the divine. What you couldn't plan, what you couldn't predict, God arranges. That kind of alignment is a supernatural confirmation that you are walking with Him. Let me speak to your weary heart today. Some of you have been asking God for a sign. This is your sign. This very message is your confirmation. You are not off course. You are not being punished. You are not forsaken. You are walking exactly where God wants you to walk. The silence does not mean absence. The delay does not mean denial. You are not alone, even if the road feels lonely. God is with you. God is in you. God is for you. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Keep obeying. Even if no one sees it, God sees it. Even if no one claps, God approves. And when God approves, no man can cancel your calling. When God opens the door, no man can shut it. When God speaks over your life, no demon in hell can undo it. You are walking in destiny. You are standing in purpose. You are covered by the hand of the Almighty. Sometimes the right path feels like the wrong one because the right path leads through crucibles, deserts, and trials before it leads to glory. But don't mistake discomfort for disapproval. Don't misread pain as punishment. Pain is sometimes the price of progress. The fire you feel is not meant to destroy you, it's meant to refine you. God does not waste fire. He uses it to burn away fear, to remove distraction, to expose impurity, to prepare you for what's ahead. Don't turn back now. Don't give up now. Don't abandon what you were anointed to finish. The signs are all around you. The peace, the provision, the alignment, the battle, the growth, the conviction, the resistance. All of it is speaking loudly and clearly that God is with you, that you are not lost, that you are not forgotten. You are simply being led. And to be led by God is the greatest honor on earth. Even when your emotions fluctuate, even when your motivation wavers, the truth remains God does not change. If He called you, He will carry you. If He started it, He will finish it. If He led you here, He will not leave you here. His faithfulness is not based on your feelings, it's based on His unchanging nature. God is not a man that He should lie. If He said it, He will do it. If He promised it, He will fulfill it. Walk with your head high, your spirit steady, and your heart full of faith. Because the path you're on, it's not random. It's not accidental. It's not a detour. It's destiny. You are not walking in circles. You are being taken somewhere. Every step, every tear, every sacrifice, it's not wasted. It's building something eternal. It's shaping your story. And one day, you will look back and realize that every twist, every turn, every wilderness was ordered by the hand of God to bring you into the fullness of your calling. Let your heart hear this now. God is not only guiding you, God is preserving you for something greater than what you currently understand. Many times what feels like a detour is really preparation. You may not have arrived at the promise, but the path is not a mistake. When you surrender your life to the will of God, you are no longer walking by maps created by men. You are being led by the divine mind, the all-knowing, all-powerful, one who sees what you cannot see. While you're focused on the next step, God is preparing your destination. While you are surviving this season, God is securing your future. And here's something many overlook. Sometimes, God confirms the right path, not by giving you everything, but by removing what no longer fits. There are people you've lost, places you've been pulled from, doors that shut without warning, and at first it hurt. You question, why would this happen now? But in the realm of the divine, subtraction is sometimes the tool of elevation. When God removes something or someone from your life, it's often because it would have hindered where He's taking you. Trust the subtraction. Trust the empty spaces. They're not signs of abandonment, they're signs of alignment. You see, when you're on the path God designed, your life will begin to look strange to others. You'll be called different, you'll be misunderstood. But this is the cost of walking in purpose. You were not called to blend in, you were called to follow the whisper of God over the noise of the world. And that means there will be moments of solitude, moments where your only companion is obedience. But don't fear isolation. God does His deepest work in the silence, the cave, the wilderness, the lonely nights. These are not wasted seasons. They are sacred seasons. They are the proving ground of the chosen. And mark this, when God is confirming your path, you will find supernatural endurance. There will be strength that doesn't make sense. When others fall apart under pressure, you will keep standing. You may be bleeding, but you'll still be believing. You may be weary, but your faith will still burn like fire. That strength isn't coming from you, it's coming from God. He equips those who walk in His will. He strengthens those who say yes to His direction. So if you're still standing after everything you've faced, let that be your confirmation. God is with you. There is a mystery in how God works. He doesn't always show you the entire picture, but He gives you enough to keep walking. A glimpse, a word, a sign, a moment of clarity. That's all you need. The rest is trust. That's how God operates. He's not building your comfort. He's building your faith. He wants you to trust His heart, even when you can't trace His hand. And oh, how powerful it is when a soul fully surrenders, saying, even if I don't understand, I will still walk where you lead. That kind of surrender shakes heaven. That kind of obedience unleashes blessings that the world cannot contain. Another sign that you're on the right path is when your inner life begins to shift, when your desires change, when your appetite for shallow things fades, when you stop craving the attention of people and start craving the approval of God. That is no small thing. That is divine transformation. That is the hand of God molding you from the inside out. Don't ignore that. Don't dismiss that. It means He is realigning your soul to match your assignment. That's not just growth, that's divine preparation. And listen to this, sometimes confirmation comes through opposition, not just from strangers, but from those closest to you. When God gives you a vision, not everyone will see it. Not everyone will support it. Some will doubt it. Some will mock it. Some will try to talk you out of it. But do not be discouraged. Their lack of belief is not your defeat. God does not require their agreement to fulfill His purpose in your life. When you are on the right path, rejection becomes redirection, criticism becomes fuel, and loneliness becomes a sacred place where you discover that God is enough. Do not fear what you don't understand. The unknown is not your enemy when God is your guide. Faith is not about having all the answers. It's about trusting God when the answers don't come. If He told you to go, then go. If He told you to leave, then leave. If He told you to build, then build. Don't delay your obedience trying to make others comfortable. Don't wait for perfect conditions to do what God already confirmed in your spirit. The wind may not be favorable, the sky may not be clear, but when God says move, it's time to move. And when you do, watch how God begins to make a way through what seemed impossible. Watch how the obstacles begin to bow to divine timing. Watch how the mountain begins to tremble at the sound of your footsteps. Because when you walk with God, you walk with authority, the kind of authority that doesn't need to shout to be heard, the kind that causes things to shift just by your presence. Why? Because you carry the mark of divine direction. You're not wandering, you're walking with purpose. Let me say this clearly. God is not playing games with your life. He is not experimenting with your destiny. He is intentional, precise, faithful. Everything you faced, every delay, every detour, has been part of a plan that is higher than your thoughts and deeper than your understanding. The disappointments did not disqualify you. The failures did not erase your calling. If you are still breathing, it means God is still working. Your path is not over. In fact, the most important chapters are still being written. And when doubt creeps in, because it will, when your emotions scream louder than your faith, go back to the last thing God told you. Go back to that moment when you knew it was Him. Go back to that word, that prayer, that nudge in your spirit. That is your anchor. The winds will come, the waves will rise, but if your anchor is in what God said, you will not drift. Don't let impatience become your downfall. So many abort the journey because the promise takes time. But God is never late. He's not in a rush like man. He's building something that will last. He's laying a foundation so deep, so strong, that when the blessing comes, it won't break you. He doesn't just want to give you the blessing, He wants to make sure you can carry it. That's why the process feels heavy. That's why the path feels long. But when it's finally time, what took years to build will be fulfilled in a moment. Let your soul take hold of this. When you are walking in alignment with God, you are dangerous to the darkness. You are a threat to the systems of this world. You are a vessel of purpose and power. So, of course, the resistance is fierce. Of course, the enemy wants you to quit. But stand firm. This isn't the time to retreat. It's the time to roar in faith. Let the fire inside of you burn brighter than the fear around you. The right path is not always the popular one. but it is the powerful one. It may be narrow, it may be lonely, it may be misunderstood, but it is filled with divine encounters, supernatural breakthroughs, and eternal purpose. You are not walking just for yourself. You are walking for generations to come. Your obedience will ripple through time. Your steps will make a way for others. And one day, someone will rise because you didn't quit, because you believed God when no one else did. And now I tell you this, if your path was chosen by God, then your steps are sacred. Let no man belittle the journey you are on. Let no circumstance cause you to doubt the road beneath your feet. Every step you take in obedience to God is a declaration of war against fear, a holy march toward purpose. There is no higher calling than to follow the whisper of God with unwavering trust, and there is no greater strength than to walk forward when the world says turn back. The road may be rugged, but the hand that leads you is mighty. The night may be long, but the one who watches over you does not sleep. You may feel unnoticed, but God sees every sacrifice. You may feel unheard, but God hears every whisper of your soul. The world rewards what it sees, but God rewards what is done in secret. The tears you've cried in silence, they are counted. The hours spent in prayer when no one was watching, they are honored. The times you refused to compromise even when it cost you something, they are written in eternity. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. You are favored not because of who you are, but because of who you trust. When God puts His seal upon a life, no rejection can remove it. No opinion can undo it. No failure can revoke it. The plan of God is not fragile. It does not crumble when you stumble. It does not break when you bend under pressure. The purpose of God was spoken before the foundation of the world. You were not born to simply exist. You were born to fulfill something eternal. And that purpose, that holy assignment, is what makes your path unique. Don't compare it to others. Don't measure it by timelines or milestones. God is not working on your schedule. He is working on your soul. And as He works, you will see new signs that only those who walk with God can recognize. There will be moments when everything around you looks ordinary, yet deep within something extraordinary is happening. You'll wake up with renewed strength for no logical reason. You'll feel prompted to speak words that weren't rehearsed. You'll be led to places you didn't plan to go. These are not coincidences. These are divine orchestrations. God is moving, even when it seems like nothing is happening. Sometimes, His greatest work is invisible to the human eye, but undeniable to the spiritual heart. Have you ever noticed how peace settles over you in the most unlikely moments? That's a sign. Have you ever walked into a storm and felt stillness in your soul? That's a sign. Have you ever chosen integrity when compromise seemed easier and felt strength rise up in you afterward? That's a sign. These are the invisible fingerprints of God all over your path. They may not be dramatic. They may not come with thunder or lightning, but they are real. They are personal. And they are enough to remind you that you are walking in step with the Almighty. Let me speak to the one who is in a valley today. You don't feel strong. You don't feel chosen. You don't even feel like you're moving. But let me tell you, even crawling in the direction God called you to is still progress. Even standing still in obedience when others rush ahead is still powerful. The valley is not a curse, it is a classroom. It is the place where God breaks you to build you, where He strips away everything you thought you needed to reveal what you truly carry. You are not buried in this season. You are being planted. And in due time you will rise, you will bloom, you will testify not of your strength, but of His. Another sign that you are on the right path is the development of divine clarity. The more you walk with God, the more the unnecessary noise fades away. You start seeing through distractions. You recognize counterfeit opportunities before they trap you. You begin to feel when something is off, not because of fear, but because your discernment has been sharpened by the one who knows all things. This clarity is a gift. It is proof that your spirit is becoming aligned with the frequency of heaven. You are no longer guided by the flesh. You are moved by something higher, something deeper, something eternal. And when you are truly on the path of God, you will not need to force doors open. Opportunities will begin to recognize you. Resources will begin to chase you. The right people will find you, not because you manipulated the moment, but because God ordained the meeting. There is a rhythm to divine timing. When you walk in it, things begin to flow. Not without effort, but without anxiety, not without work, but without worry. The oil of grace begins to cover your steps. What once felt impossible now begins to happen, not because you've become greater, but because you've become more surrendered. And here is a mystery. Sometimes the confirmation that you're on the right path comes when God allows a delay to protect your destiny. He withholds not to hurt you, but to mature you. He closes the door not to deny you, but to prepare the room. Don't resent the pause. Don't despise the wait. The delay is not the absence of progress, it is the multiplication of purpose. What He's building in you is too valuable to be rushed. The longer it takes, the deeper it lasts. Your obedience is not in vain. Your discipline is not forgotten. Your sacrifice will not be overlooked. God is a just rewarder, and He is watching every quiet yes, every lonely step, every unseen act of faith. And at the appointed time, His time, He will lift you. He will vindicate you. He will make the crooked places straight, not for your glory, but for His purpose through you. So hold on, not just to the promise, but to the path. The promise without the path is incomplete. The process without God is powerless. But when you walk with God, even your delays are divine. Even your failures are recycled for good. Even your detours lead to destiny. This is not just a journey of success, it's a journey of surrender. And those who surrender to God's way will never be put to shame. If the fire is hotter, it's because the gold inside of you is purer. If the test is greater, it's because the calling is heavier. And if the battle is fiercer, it's because the assignment on your life is undeniable. You were not created to drift. You were designed to dominate in the area God placed you. You are a light in a dark world. You are a carrier of purpose. You are walking proof that God still speaks, still leads, still reveals His path to those who seek Him with their whole heart. Lift your head, shake off the lies of the enemy, walk with boldness, because you are not lost, you are not behind, you are not broken beyond repair. You are right where you need to be, in the hands of the one who never makes a mistake. You are on the path that leads to purpose, and God, the one who called you, will finish what He started in you. Do not turn to the left or the right. Do not seek shortcuts. Do not look for easier roads. Stay where God has placed you. Grow where He planted you. Walk with honor. Love with purity. Serve with humility. And move with faith. For the path you walk today, though narrow, though ruggedous, the road to something eternal, it is not only the right path, it is God's path. And that is more than enough. When God sets you on a path, it may not always feel like elevation. It may feel like isolation. It may feel like you've been hidden, tucked away, overlooked by the world. But understand this, what looks like isolation is often divine preservation. God does not expose what He has not yet refined. He hides what He is still shaping. He covers what He is still cultivating. And in the quiet places, in the shadows where no one sees, that is where God does His most powerful work. So if you feel like no one sees your obedience, your faithfulness, your late night tears, know this: God sees, and his seeing is enough. Don't be fooled by the applause of men. The world may celebrate noise, but God honors substance. He is not moved by the spotlight. He is moved by sincerity. The steps you take when no one is clapping matter more than the performance you give when everyone is watching. The right path is often the unpopular path. It's the one where you choose righteousness over recognition, integrity over attention, truth over tradition. That is the path God watches closely. That is the path he blesses. Not always immediately, but undeniably. And you must remember, when you're walking with God, your timing will never match the world's. While others are sprinting, God may ask you to walk. While others are rushing, God may ask you to wait. But the path he designs is not measured by speed, it is measured by alignment. And one moment of divine alignment is worth more than a lifetime of rushed ambition. The world will tell you to hustle, to strive, to chase. But God says, be still and trust. Obedience may seem slow, but it's never behind. It may seem quiet, but it carries the roar of eternity. When you are truly aligned with God, you begin to hear him even in the silence. You begin to see him even in the storm. You begin to trust him even when your plans fall apart. That kind of faith does not come overnight. It is forged in fire, built in the unseen, tested in trials. So do not despise the season of stretching. Do not curse the season of waiting. These are not delays, they are deposits. Deposits of strength, wisdom, character, and unwavering trust. When the blessing comes, it will not shake you, because the foundation is deep. There is a holy confidence that comes when you know you are on God's path. Not arrogance, not pride, but unshakable assurance, because you no longer need validation to move forward. You no longer need agreement to believe. You no longer depend on open doors to prove your worth. You move because God said move. You stand because God said stand. And you wait because God said not yet. That kind of faith is fireproof. That kind of obedience terrifies the enemy. Because now you are not driven by results, you are driven by purpose. Let me tell you this. Sometimes the enemy won't try to destroy you, he'll try to distract you. He'll place counterfeit paths beside your real one, paths that promise ease but carry emptiness, paths that feel good but are built on compromise. Beware of the easy way when it pulls you away from God. The right path is not always comfortable, but it is always consecrated. It is set apart. It is holy. And anything holy requires sacrifice. Not to earn favor, but to walk in freedom. When you deny what is temporary to pursue what is eternal, you are declaring with every step, I trust God more than I trust myself. You may have people question your direction. They may say, you're wasting your time, you're dreaming too big, you're being unrealistic. But what they call unrealistic, God calls preparation. What they call foolish, God calls faith. You don't need them to understand it because they didn't receive the vision. God did not whisper your purpose in their ear. He planted it in your spirit. And if he planted it, he will water it, he will protect it, he will cause it to grow. Let the world keep chasing validation. Let others compete for crowns that don't last. But as for you, chase the presence of God. That is the reward. That is the treasure. If God is with you, you are already victorious. If God approves you, no man's disapproval matters. The path you walk may not be filled with praise, but it is filled with presence. And the presence of God is enough. It will keep you, it will correct you, it will cover you. And yes, there will be times when you stumble, times when you question, times when fear creeps in and your steps begin to shake. But even then, if you fall in obedience, God will lift you. If you fail in pursuit of His will, He will restore you. God does not abandon those who seek Him sincerely. He does not reject those who fall while walking toward Him. His mercy is not based on perfection, it's based on pursuit. Keep pursuing, keep knocking, keep asking. Because the path of God is not about reaching a destination, it's about walking daily with the one who knows the way. There will be signs all around you. Not loud, not always visible, but spiritual signs. The clarity that comes in prayer. The rest that overtakes you when you choose the hard but holy decision. The calm that follows your obedience, even when circumstances scream chaos. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. And if you stay sensitive to the whispers of God, you will not be deceived. You will be led, moment by moment, step by step. The path you're walking may seem narrow now, but it leads to wide places. It may be hidden now, but it leads to a city set on a hill. It may be painful now, but it leads to peace that passes all understanding. God is not just leading you forward, He is drawing you deeper, deeper into trust, deeper into surrender, deeper into the reality that His ways are higher than yours, His thoughts greater, His plans wiser. You don't need to chase after what God already reserved for you. What is yours by divine assignment cannot be stolen, delayed, or denied if you remain on the path, even if others seem to pass you, even if their doors open faster. Don't look to the left or to the right. Stay focused, stay humble, stay obedient, because the right path is not proven by speed but by sustainability. God does not give what will destroy you. He gives what will complete you. And His gifts are not given in your time, they are given in His perfect time. So walk on, walk with boldness, with brokenness if you must, but walk. Walk through the uncertainty. Walk through the silence. Walk through the rejection. Walk even when no one is cheering. Because God is watching. God is leading. And God is faithful. The path you are on it may be costly, but it is covered. It may be narrow, but it is noble. It may be hard, but it is holy. There comes a point in every journey where you can no longer rely on the strength of your legs, but only on the conviction in your heart. That conviction is not born from comfort. It is forged in the secret place where your soul wrestles with fear and doubt, but refuses to surrender. It is there, in that holy tension between what is seen and what is promised, that God confirms who you truly are. You were not meant to walk a path of ease. You were meant to walk a path of purpose. And purpose demands perseverance. Purpose demands faith when facts scream otherwise. And when you stay faithful despite uncertainty, God marks that step as sacred. This is not the path of the masses. This is not the way of shallow waters. This is the deep calling unto deep. This is the voice of God saying, come higher, walk further, trust deeper. And every time you say yes to God, every time you deny your fear and obey His instruction, you are climbing toward a destiny that was written for you before the earth even knew your name. It is not pride to believe that you were made for something greater. It is faith. And it is faith that pleases God. When you walk in true obedience to God, you will begin to notice that the things that once satisfied you no longer hold power. The opinions of people lose weight. The distractions of the world lose their pull. You stop chasing the illusion of perfection and begin to walk in divine purpose. And that transformation itself is a sign you are no longer being led by the flesh, but by the Spirit of the Almighty. You are no longer driven by impulse, but by instruction. That is not weakness, that is alignment. That is evidence that God is shaping you not just for blessings, but for responsibility. The path of God matures you. It builds in you the kind of endurance that can't be taught by comfort. You don't just learn how to wait, you learn how to wait well. You don't just learn how to pray, you learn how to persevere when the answer is delayed. And it's in that stretching that your capacity increases. You become strong not because you fought every battle with your own hands, but because you let God fight for you. You let Him lead even when the road made no sense. And that surrender is not weakness, it is power under authority. There will be times where the right path feels wrong simply because it doesn't match your expectations. But God is not obligated to explain His plan before He performs it. He is not bound by your timeline, your strategy, or your logic. What seems delayed is often deliberate. What looks like a loss is often a lesson. If you stay too focused on what you thought it should look like, you'll miss what God is trying to do right now. Be open, be flexible, let go of the plan, and hold on to the promise. You see, when God is leading you, you don't need to rush. You don't need to compete. You don't need to manipulate. You rest in the knowing that what is for you is already written. You move with intentionality, not with anxiety. You speak with wisdom, not with fear. You decide not based on pressure, but based on peace. And that peace is not a passive feeling, it is a divine signal. When your spirit is still, even when the storm rages, it is God saying, "This is the way, walk in it." And yes, there will be giants on the right path. There will be walls too high to climb, rivers too wide to cross, enemies too loud to ignore. But those are not signs to turn back. They are signs that you are close. The presence of resistance is often the clearest indication that you're entering territory meant to be taken. And the God who led you to it will not leave you stranded. He will provide. He will shield. He will strengthen. But you must not shrink. You must not look back. You must not give in to fear when you were called to walk in faith. Let me tell you this plainly. The presence of pain does not mean the absence of God. Don't let your emotions become louder than your discernment. Feelings are real, but they are not always accurate. That's why you must learn to lead your soul with truth, not follow your soul with confusion. And truth is this: if God put breath in your lungs today, then your purpose is still alive. If He allowed you to wake up this morning, then the journey is not over. Don't let discouragement be your counselor. Let faith be your guide. Let obedience be your answer. When you are walking in God's will, even your weaknesses become weapons. Even your scars become stories. Even your past becomes part of the plan. Nothing is wasted when you are surrendered. Every delay, every heartbreak, every disappointment, it all becomes fuel in the hands of the Almighty. And one day you will testify not just with your words, but with your life that the path God chose was not only right, it was holy, it was necessary. It was divinely appointed for your transformation. You must understand, child of faith, that the right path is not just about reaching the promise, it's about becoming the person who can carry it. God is not just working around you, He is working within you, shaping your motives, cleansing your heart, purifying your desires, teaching you how to walk in power without arrogance, in wisdom without pride, in strength without oppression. That's why the journey is hard, because He's building not just a future for you, but a future through you. You may feel behind, you may feel like others are moving faster, achieving more, shining brighter, but their race is not your race. Their calling is not your calling. And their path is not your path. Stay in your lane. Run with endurance. Keep your eyes on God, not on man. Because if you chase the applause of people, you'll miss the approval of heaven. But if you chase the approval of God, everything else will align in its time. And when the day comes that everything you prayed for arrives, when the vision becomes reality, when the mountain moves, when the door opens, don't forget the path. Don't forget the nights you cried, the mornings you questioned, the battles you survived. Don't forget how God carried you when you couldn't walk. Those moments are your memorial. They are your anchor. They are the evidence that your life is not your own, it is the work of God's hands. So walk boldly, speak fearlessly, love deeply, obey quickly. The path you are on is not ordinary. It is sacred. Every step, every tear, every test, it all matters. You are not here by accident. You are not following a fantasy. You are following a fire that cannot be quenched, a call that cannot be silenced, a purpose that cannot be stolen. You are on the right path not because it is easy, but because it is ordained. And God, the one who sees the end from the beginning, is leading you with a love that cannot fail. So now, take this truth and plant it deep within your heart. God does not make mistakes. If He called you, He will equip you. If He led you, He will sustain you. And if you are on the path He set before you, then you are exactly where you need to be. Don't allow the noise of the world to drown out the voice of the one who knows you best. Walk forward with conviction. Stand firm in faith. Move with the assurance that God the Almighty, the All-Wise, the one who sees beyond the present, is guiding every step, even when the road feels uncertain. Let every breath you take be a declaration of trust. Let every step be a testament to your faith. Let your journey speak louder than your doubts. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are being led by the hand of God. He has never failed, and He will not start now.